So today is our last day in Montreal, and we are here in Mont Royal, which is basically a big mountain just behind Montreal, and that's where Montreal gets its name. Montreal, Montreal. You see the similarities there? Yeah, it's just like a big park, but you can overlook the whole city, which is really cool. See some nature, touch some grass, or in this case, some snow. Let's go. So we've been in Canada for like a week now. So I'm going to give you some things I like and don't like about Canada. Because, at this point, being here for a week, I'm basically a pro. One thing I do like is the snow, the weather. I think the snow is sick. It's not something we get to see all the time in the UK. So to be able to be in this winter wonderland like this is awesome. Also, the snow's way different. It's like super powdery. It's not as like sloshy and soupy as like snow in the UK. So it's like nice. It's good to walk on, feels good. It's not really that much of an issue. It's snowing right now, but it's not like a blizzard, so it's good. And yeah, the weather in general, it's cold. It's like, I think currently it's like -3, but like when you layer up, put some jackets on, you're good. It's not really that bad. It's a little bit grey, but I don't care. I like grey. I'm from the UK, it's fine. Despite having all of the layers on to battle the cold, one problem is when you go inside, everything's super hot. So in Toronto, it's got like this underground path system, and you can like walk through the whole city in there, and it was fucking boiling, and I was like sweating, I was dying. So that's one issue with it being cold. When you go outside, you got loads of layers on. When you go inside, it's too hot because they got the heating on like a bajillion degrees. One thing that's really good about Canada is the food options. There's food from all over the world. Anywhere you go, it's great. Like in Toronto, you could get food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Korean food, Canadian food, British food, German food. You could get everything you could ever need. So the food options are sick. So that's a good thing. So one thing I don't like was the Montreal metro system. It wasn't all that great. I'll be honest. You couldn't tap on with your phone. You had to like either buy a ticket or get like an actual like tap on card, which was really annoying. Whereas in Toronto, even the streetcars, the buses, and the subway was all you just use your phone, like, just tap with your phone and it works. So that was annoying. I don't like that about the Montreal metro system. But the Toronto one's great. Toronto one's sick, streetcars are lit, and Toronto's dope. So one thing that's sweet about seems to be the big cities in Canada, everything's super walkable, which is really nice. It's good to be able to just walk anywhere. Nothing's really too far, so that's a cool thing. Even if the public transport in Montreal isn't really that great, everything's walkable. So one thing I don't like too much about Canada is these kind of like passive-aggressive tips. Not in the sense of like in America where you feel like you need to tip for basically everything and they make you aware that you need to tip for everything. Here it's a bit more passive-aggressive in the sense of like, you'll go somewhere and they'll give you like the card machine to pay, and on the card machine it will say leave a tip, and then it'll give you like the amounts. And it's like, it's just a bit passive aggressive. Like they expect a tip, but they're not going to like chase you for it. But yeah, it's just a bit, and it's like for a lot of things as well. Like, you go to like Tim Hortons or Starbucks and they'll ask for a tip. And it's like, bruv, I went up to the counter. You're just doing your job. Like, what's going on? Why are you asking for a tip? You haven't done anything different. One thing though I do really like is obviously the ice hockey and ice skating culture around Canada. It's really cool. Obviously there's ice hockey everywhere. When we were in Toronto, the Leafs, big hockey team, went to go see him. It was sick. And it was loads of fun. And I like ice hockey. I like watching it. Came here to Montreal. The Habs, the Canadians are a big team, and there's loads of merch everywhere for that, which is really cool. Montreal's big on ice skating as well, so there's like loads of ice skating rinks. We went ice skating. That was really fun. Like they're everywhere. The thing with the ice skating as well is like it's free if you got your own skates. The only thing you have to pay for is the rentals if you want rentals. Otherwise, you can just turn up with your own skates and just skate for as long as you want, which is awesome. Like we don't have that anywhere in the UK because if there's an outdoor ice skating place, you have to pay, which sucks. Look at this dog. This dog's cute. Cute dog. One more thing I don't like about Canada. Well, maybe Montreal, Quebec in general, is aggressively French. And like, I know it's the French capital of Canada, so I was expecting French. I'm not expecting French, but like, it's a lot more French than I thought it would be. So like, you know, with it being bilingual, I would expect 50% English, 50% French. Nah, in Quebec, in Montreal, it's just 100% French or 99% French, 1% English. And if you don't speak French, I mean, you know, people are happy to speak in English to you as long as you start with a bonjour or a merci, whatever. But then, like, it's kind of, in my opinion, it feels like it's a burden. They're like, oh, you're making me speak fucking English, you dickhead. Why don't you learn French? It's like, I don't know French. But yeah, it's aggressively French. So if you come in, be aware of that. Maybe learn some French. So last couple of things that I like and dislike. So one thing I did like, we got the train from Toronto to Montreal, and we got this thing called the Via Rail. It was super easy. It was fairly cheap. I think it was like $40 for each. Like there was two of us, so $80 in total, which for like a 7-hour journey on a train in the UK would cost like over £100 each. So yeah, fairly cheap, and it was really good. It was really easy to use. Via Rail, use it. End it with a good thing. And the last thing is, overall, it's relatively safe and relatively clean. I didn't see any issues. The subways were super clean. The streetcars are super clean. Just the streets in general, super clean and safe. I didn't feel like at any point we were in danger or I felt like, yo, this place is dodgy. Overall, Canada, in general, gets a 8.5 out of 10 from me. You know, there's room to improve, but it's 8.5 out of 10. Very good. Would recommend coming to Canada if you haven't been to Canada before.